Amazon have just released their brand new Echo Hub, a smart display that gives you access to controlling your entire smart home at the tap of a button. This is a product I've wanted from Amazon for so long, except they've completely missed the mark. Again. But it's not all bad news. But I'll come back to that, because it was only a year or so ago that I reviewed the Echo Show 15, which also completely missed my expectations for it. I had hoped that that would become an incredible smart home hub with widgets and customization and all manner of smart home goodness, but it just never did. So imagine my joy when Amazon announced this device earlier this year that was supposed to offer that smart home dashboard experience that I was longing for. And on the surface, it would appear that it's very close to meeting those expectations. It's small, it's simple, and has perhaps the most smart home focused user interface of any Amazon product that has come before it. The moment you approach it, the inbuilt PIR sensor recognizes motion and will light the screen up with your smart home dashboard, and you're instantly met with a bunch of connected devices from your chosen room that it's placed in, or whatever you set within the device itself as the home screen. Along the bottom, you've got a bunch of subcategories such as light switches, plugs, and cameras that you can view, and along the left is your rooms and groups that you set up. Swiping fully across the center of the display, you get widgets like weather and access to view multiple cameras at once, and the calendar. It's pretty nice, but that's pretty much it. It's actually a really simplistic experience and offers kind of a new way, an easy way for people to interact with your smart home. In a way, it's perfect for people or guests who aren't familiar with the naming conventions of your smart home devices. Often, even my own family get confused. Hell, even I get confused with the amount of stuff on my smart home. Is it ceiling lights, or are they called main lights? Or is that in the lounge, or is it called the living room? Or, if you're being particularly vindictive, have I called it the snug? I can't expect my grandma to remember what day it is, let alone the 342 smart device names, routines and commands that are attached to my home. Having this instantly makes my smart home more accessible to everyone and not just the inner circle of my immediate family under the age of 60. It's also capable of working as a Ring alarm panel and reportedly works extremely well with the whole Ring security system. The downside of that is that you actually have to use the Ring system, which charges you through the eyeballs in subscription fees. And as you know, it's among my least favourite security systems, but that's another video for another day. But as for the 342 devices on my smart home, one thing that Echo Hub can do, which the Echo Show 15 can't do, is actually act like a proper hub. I was utterly gobsmacked that the Echo Show 15, mostly advertised as this central family smart home device, didn't actually connect to any smart home devices directly. You still needed an Echo device with a hub built in, like the regular Echo or the Echo Studio, for example. Finally, with the Echo Hub, I've got the option of pairing up directly to many types of smart home devices through Zigbee, Thread, Bluetooth and Amazon Sidewalk, and it's capable of running as a Thread border router and Matter controller. And another thing I like is that Amazon seem to have listened and done away with the DC adapter they've had on the last few generations of Amazon products. Instead, this has USB-C, and what's cool is that will allow you to power it over Ethernet as well. And if you use a USB-C power supply to power it and it's too low powered, it will actually tell you, which is a nice touch. But I'm afraid this is where all the benefits of this device and all of the fun stops for me, because there's almost as much gone wrong with this device as Amazon have gotten right. Now, although the software has had a huge overhaul in terms of smart home control, which was absolutely needed, it's still a long way from what I desire. Often it feels clunky and has a massive lack of customization. Not to mention, in terms of widgets, Amazon have yet again released a device with next to no third-party widgets available. and the majority of them are next to useless. And I don't expect this to change much. I've said this before, but if Amazon want this to be a serious contender, then they absolutely must incentivize developers to build widgets to make this system properly smart. I want to be able to do things like add integrations from Todoist so I can see all of my tasks. I want to add cheese to my Tesco shopping basket. And I want to be able to do things like use Life 360 so I can get updated locations on the entire family. But the reality is that these integrations, widgets or apps will never ever make an appearance on this device simply because Amazon refused to invest in incentivizing these developers to create on the platform. And even if the developers did, they'd still have a super hard time making optimized versions of these experiences because one of the major flaws in this device is that it's massively underpowered, like almost all of Amazon devices are. Now, in the past, I've just kind of accepted this as part of the parcel. At the end of the day, the price of Amazon devices have always been extremely budget friendly, which played a massive part in normalizing smart homes for the masses. And you can't really fault them for that. If anything, you can do nothing but thank them for the fact that everyone's got some form of smart home. But I must say that this norm of including the lowest power processor that they can get their hands on is getting a bit old, especially when you're trying to swipe around and access the menus and submenus on the Echo Hub. It can be painfully laggy, and on occasion not quick to load at all. And that's a little bit disappointing. Certainly for a device that you're primarily meant to interact with your fingers, it's just terribly below average experience for it. And the joys don't stop there either. I personally think this device is having a little bit of an identity crisis. It's like Amazon couldn't quite have the courage to completely sever this device from the Echo Show product lineup. And I say this because this device still has things like speakers, which, okay, might be a little bit better than the forsaken Echo Flex speakers, but have a listen to this. As well as speakers, it also has Alexa voice assistant built in too, and if you swipe down from the top, you can even access music and play videos from Amazon Prime too, which is a bit mad for a device that is this small and is designed predominantly to be wall mounted on the side of your wall. I mean, what does Amazon think I'm going to do here? Play grand designs whilst on the other side of the kitchen, squinting at the tiny screen to see whatever cedar-clad monstrosity they're building that week? It's just not going to happen. I just don't really understand why they've done this. I'd have been completely fine with this being a display-only device with full focus on putting all of the processing power into the smart home dashboard only, instead of sharing it with features that I'll never ever use, because in any room that this will go in, there is a decent connected speaker that's far better at anything this can offer me. And to add salt to the wound, you're gonna still need your phone to even use this device. Don't expect to be able just to buy this along with a bunch of smart home kit to connect directly to it. Oh no, because that would be sensible. You still need your phone to pair a connected device up to it, which for me defeats the object of this device almost entirely because it can't perform its intended function without another product. What's even more insulting though is the price. This thing costs £170, which comparatively, compared to a lot of their devices, is way more than I expected it to be. Sure, it'll probably be discounted under £100 on Prime Day, mark my words, but from a device that doesn't really offer me much more than Echo Show realistically does, I think £170 is a big ask. In all honesty, I think that those that do buy this may end up with it just sitting on the shelf, gathering dust. And that's another thing, in fact. When you buy this, it comes with a wall mount. But if you want to stand it on a shelf, you're going to have to pay extra £30 for a stand, which is ridiculous. Now, I think my overall sentiment may be slightly marred based on my expectations for this product, which just haven't been met. The exact same curse the Echo Show 15 had. But even objectively, without even considering my expectations, I don't think this is a brilliant product. Don't get me wrong. It's certainly the best smart home hub Amazon have ever made, and it's very, very likely that it will still find its way into my smart home on a permanent basis. But not because I think it's a good product, simply because of a lack of alternatives. Sure, there are some more closed systems that offer a better experience, and if you're a brave individual, then you can create some incredible bespoke smart home dashboards with services like Home Assistant. But I'm not brave. And as for a plug-and-play option that integrates wholly and completely with my already existing Amazon-based smart home, this is pretty much the best you're gonna get. But is Amazon's best good enough? No. I don't think it is. But it could be. I don't know why, but I've still got a bit of naive hope that this will one day be a good device. Once more devices release with Matter, or should I say, if more devices release with Matter, it'll mean more direct connectivity. And because this can be hardwired through your network using the USB-C port, it would make smart home control a lot more quicker in theory and offline. And I guess a lot of my sentiment is based around the software experience, which Amazon could update. They could make this completely self-sufficient as well without the need for any other device. But for now, those are just hopes, dreams, ifs, and buts. What do you think? Do you agree that this product falls short of expectations, or am I perhaps being a little bit critical of its shortcomings? What, in that case, are you using? Do you have any other recommendations for a smart home display or a smart home hub display? I'm keen to hear your solutions, so let me know in the comments below so we can all have a chat about Amazon's latest device, the Echo Hub. I'll be replying to everyone over the next few hours, so make sure you drop down there and say hi. And if you enjoyed today's episode, I would really appreciate if you hit that thumbs up button to help me out, and subscribe if you're new to STU'S Reviews. But other than that, guys, I will see you back for another episode of STU'S Reviews soon.